Ladies and gentlemen, the Midwest Slice of Life presents MAM-O-GRAM, the Marty After Midnight program. And now, here's your host, Marty! Hi everybody, and welcome to MAM-O-GRAM, Marty After Midnight program. Thanks for joining us and tuning in. I really appreciate everyone that's been watching the show. Did a little dip yesterday. We didn't get a whole lot of viewers, but I'm not worried about that anymore. I'm as long as I know there's like 20 people watching this, I'm fine with it. And there is. So thanks to all of you. If we get extra, that's great. If not, I don't really care. We have a little loyal group here. It's just about 1 a.m. on a Thursday morning, and I thought one thing that would be fun to talk about now and again would be my freelance writing that I did through the years. I haven't done any for quite a while, but when I moved to New York in 1993, I did for the Pekin Daily Times here I think I wrote for them from 91 to 93, wrote some features for them. My editor was Kent Davey. Kent, if by chance you're watching this, hi. I need to get a hold of that guy. He's a really good guy and a good editor. I learned a lot from him. But anyway, I moved to New York in July of 93 and immediately started writing for the weekly papers. Back then, what the drill was, I don't know what you would do today because there's no weekly papers. And the thing I'm going to show you isn't in print now. I'll tell you more about that in a second. But what the drill was, if you wanted to do freelance writing, you started at the weekly papers because they had like, I don't know, 6, 10 of them. There was a lot of them, but they hardly paid anything. You'd get like between usually $30 to $50 an article. If expenses were incurred, maybe they'd pay them. But within my first week, I got published. I was published for a newspaper called New York Weekly. That's a funny story I'll tell later. This will be a recurring bit, talking about some of my old freelance articles. When I started out, New York Weekly was the first place. Then I started writing for a paper called the Manhattan Spirit. There was another one called Our Town. I wrote for the New York Press, which was the big rival to the Village Voice at the time. Never got into the Village Voice. I tried a few times. They were a tough nut to crack. They were like the biggie of the weekly papers, and I could never get in there. But after I got into some of the weeklies, I wrote through the years. I've written for the New York Post, the New York Daily News, New York Newsday. There's a whole story about that I'll tell too. It kind of deals with the book. I'm not going to talk about the book this week. I got behind on the blog. I didn't do the blog today. I put up a little thing. So Thursdays when I usually do the book thing, I'm actually doing what would have been today's blog today, Thursday. So I'm going to look at that. Go ahead. But anyway, where was I? I just lost total track of what I was saying. Man, I just lost. It was like my train of thought got totally derailed. I was talking about freelance writing. Oh, New York Newsday. I wrote, I think 4 features for them. And that led to me doing the magazine Fish Wrap, which, again, I'll tell later. It's a whole story unto itself. But there was a magazine called Time Out New York. It started in 1995, I believe. And I was in the very first issue. I'll show that later. But one of my favorite freelance features of all time was in Time Out New York. It was right here, and here's the cover. And that's it right there. I even made the cover. A Drinker's Diary. I went to 16 bars in 16 hours. It was kind of the start of my bar thing. Where is it here? Here it is. In their Eat Out section. A little dirty there. Sweet 16. There's me talking to some bartender. It's always hard to point with this thing. There's another photo of me in a bar. Sweet 16 by Marty Wambacher. I always like to see that byline. Let me try. Boy, this isn't as easy as you think it would be. And it was a 3-page feature in Time Out New York. These are the 2 pages. They showed pictures of all the bars. And it was just a fun thing to do. Actually, when was this? January 22nd, 1998. Is when I did this. I was doing Fish Wrap at the time. But yeah, I did some features for Time Out New York. The other thing that I did for Time Out New York, if this is hard to maneuver to hold stuff up, I did a lot of restaurant and bar reviews for them. I think I think they paid 50. It was just, you just had to write like a paragraph, but I think you got $50, and then you could have a drink and a sandwich too. They would pay for. So you got dinner and a drink out of it. That was a good deal. I used to love doing that. I did a lot of it. But here's the 16 bars story. I just kind of go through it here and read some of it or look at it. Let me put on the old reading specs to see here. I actually didn't prepare for this, so I haven't looked at this in quite a while. Oh, it says the beers that I drank. I started at noon. I went from noon to 2 in the morning. Noon, I went to Drip, had a bottle of Red Stripe. Oh, the P&G I went to. God damn it, this is not this bar right here, the P&G. That was like my first regular bar when I lived on the Upper West Side. What did I have there? A bottle of Heineken. Yeah, they paid for all the beers on this, so I mean, really, that was worth it in itself. But I think I got $400 for this. Not bad. Um, I went to Howard Johnson's in Times Square. That's gone now. I wonder how many of these bars are left. The P&G is gone. Bill's Gay 90s. That was a place Jimmy Fallon used to hang out there. It was like an old time bar. It's in Midtown. Really good bar, but like an old time one. What did I have there? A bottle of Bass Ale. Yeah, I wonder how many. That would be a fun thing to do the next time I go. Johnny's Bar, I think that's gone. The Ginger Man, I don't know if that's there in a KGB. At a Heineken there. Uh, Motor City, that was a bar in the East Village I used to hang out at. I got a bottle of Rolling Rock, $3. Well, it has the prices too. I guess I should have looked at this before I did this. That's interesting. Now, this is, like I say, 1998. Bottle of Red Stripe back then, $4. Not bad by today's, but back then that would have been expensive to a lot of people. Heineken at P&G was just $3.75. That's not bad at all. But again, this is 98, so maybe Budweiser $3.25. See, now that was pretty steep, I think. That was at Johnny's Bar. Went to the Cooler. Bottle of Heineken $4.50 there. Yeah, I wonder how many of these are left. If any of them. Stingy Lulu's. That was at St. Mark's Place. I don't remember that at all. I don't remember going to a lot of these. What the deal was with this article was how you can drink 16 bars in 16 hours. I learned this when I got a DUI years ago. Let me put my regular glasses on. In 1990, I got a DUI, and I learned in the dry roads class, you can drink one beer an hour, and you stay sober. If you drink it like at 10 and then wait an hour. So that's what I did in this. It has the times too. Now I lost the little, oh, here it is. Well, yeah, I mean, I started at noon. So noon, 1, 2, every hour I went to a new bar. I remember, yeah, running around taking cabs. This was a really fun day. It was a fun thing to do. Time Out New York. That was one of my good feature articles that I enjoyed doing. Yeah, like I say, I kind of stopped. I think 99 or 2000, I kind of stopped doing freelance writing. The very last piece I ever did, which there's a story to that too, was for the New York Post. And like, it's not on. None of this stuff is online. I think that was like 2006. I've got a copy. I'll do a thing on that. But I went out as a bad Santa, and that was a blast. That was one thing doing freelance in New York. It just made for a lot of fun experiences and that. And this was really definitely one of them. Time Out New York. They don't do a print version of this. I just went online and looked. They stopped in 2020 doing print. They, of course, are still online. But no more print for Time Out New York. I'm really glad that I lived there when I did and able to do. Like I say, I don't know what a writer would do, but you don't really need to move there anymore. Well, for something like this, you would need to live there, but so much you could just do online. I'm proud to be the last wave of journalists to be in New York in the pre-internet time. I moved there in '93. There was no internet then. I mean, it was there, but nobody knew it was there. So yeah, I don't know if that's. I don't know how writing works there now. There used to be kind of a steadfast rule. You go to the weeklies, then you go to the dailies, or you go to magazines, you go to TV, but you started at the weekly papers. There's not a weekly paper in New York anymore. Kind of sad. But like I say, I feel lucky to have lived there when I did. I lived there from 93 to 2012. In fact, I just had my anniversary of moving back here. I moved back on October 18th, 2012. I've been back 11 years now. That's insane. And I was in New York for 19 years. So anyway, that's this freelance story for tonight. Thanks for tuning in, as always, to the MAM-O-GRAM, the Marty After Midnight program here on the Midwest Slice of Life. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow. We're going to be doing this Monday through Friday. So Saturday, Sunday, we won't have a show. And that's tonight's show. Thanks a lot for tuning in and listening to me ramble on. And have a lovely day. This will probably go up around 1 in the afternoon. Have a great Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. The weekend begins, which doesn't really matter to me because I'm retired. So anyway, good night. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you all tomorrow.